Hi there, this is Phil, and it is, November 12th, Veterans Day 2012, and I'm packing up my 1967 Cougar for the winter here in Buckland, Massachusetts. So, what you'll see is I have put down a sheet of visqueen on the bottom of the car, and just give you an idea what the car looks like for the record. It's a 1967 XR7. It has 109,000 miles on it. It's my pride and joy. It's got a 289 engine. It has an automatic transmission, and it's an Arizona car. So next step of the process is to put it up on jack stands using a 2-ton jack stand. You'll need 4 of them, 2 for either side of the car. What you want to do is to get the wheels up off the ground so that while it's in storage it doesn't develop a flat spot on the wheel, and that's what you're aiming for, just to take the weight off the tires. So this is what she looks like sitting on the visqueen and on the jack stand. Under the hood, what I have done at this point is to make sure that the radiator is topped out with antifreeze, and I've also made sure that the fuel tank has just been topped off, so it's full of fuel, full of antifreeze, and I'm going to check the specific gravity of it using a hydrant. Okay, so ideally you will have already flushed and drained and changed your coolant and put a new coolant mixture of 50-50 in. 50% antifreeze, 50% water. In this case, I have not done that. I am just checking with a hygrometer what the rating of the antifreeze compound that's in there now is, which is -20, so I'm cool. Okay, so what you see here is I have applied a clamp to the fuel line. This is a carbureted engine, and so I need to run the gasoline that's in the carburetor and burn it out without it being refilled. So that's what happens next. And here we're running the fuel out of the carburetor. Okay, so the next step is going to be adding fogging oil to the engine. This will coat the inside of the engine, and I've removed the air filter from the carburetor, and I'm going to spray this stuff into the carburetor. Okay, now I'm going to run the car, turn the car's engine over a little bit. Okay, so the engine's ready, coolant has been replaced, oil change and filter. There's no gasoline in the carburetor. I have sprayed the fogging into the carburetor and ran it and got it into the cylinders. So everything's okay up here except taking out the battery. That's next. Okay, battery's out, and so now I'm going to put mothball packets, lavender scented, under the hood to discourage the mousy. Okay, a quick look at the mothball packets, which I have placed in several areas of the car. So, time to button it up. So, next step is going to be putting stable fuel stabilizer into the tank. This is a 10-ounce size, and it's good for about 17 to 20 gallons. So I'm going to dump it in my 17-gallon tank and call it good. I did top off the tank just before driving over here, so just so as you know. Into the tank goes the fuel stabilizer. Okay, so next I have placed steel wool in the exhaust pipes. The steel wool will prevent the mousies from chewing through it. So on the inside of the car I have placed damp rid, which prevents mold and mildew. This is basically a desiccant that's going to keep the humidity that might get into the car really low. Okay, next stage is to use fabric softener sheets. We're going to put these on the inside of the interior of the car, in order to prevent mice from taking up habitation. Okay, so there you have it, dryer sheets throughout the car. As you see, I put some more dryer sheets in the trunk of the car. I also threw the last of the mothballs and the last of the dryer sheets up under the car right here. So one thing that I've seen recommended is to apply white lithium grease to your tires. So I've sprayed this tire with some white lithium grease. I'll put a little more over here. And the idea is to protect the rubber. So I have put the jack and the boxes that the jack stands came into the trunk of the car. So just to be on the safe side when spring comes around, and this has been sitting here for 6 months, I'm going to leave some quick starting fluid. This car does have a carburetor, and so a couple of shots of this down the intake to the carburetor will start most anything that is not dead. Next thing I'm doing is putting a couple of light cloth blankets on top of the car. So next thing is to start wrapping it up, pulling up the visqueen and taping it to the cloth, not to the paint, Okay, so now the car has had the visqueen wrapped up from the bottom and taped together and tied together with a couple of ropes. So there she is, wrapped up for the winter. We'll check on her in the spring.